So I am always bouncing between my farm, the other farm, the main farm, my farm. What is that? So I am right now at the generational or main farm. This is the 4th generation farm, which means my great-grandparents lived here and farmed here, my grandparents, my mom and dad, my mom still lives here, and I would be the 4th generation, and I live catty corner from here, where my grandparents lived after they lived here. And I have really been reworking, redoing this yard. I grew up with a mom who loved gardens, had tons of flower beds, and in talking with her, she was ready for a change, I was ready for a change. So this is what I call the East Lawn. It used to have a huge vegetable garden here for like 80 years. It's not there anymore, and it's now just a big lawn. And I have repeating antique urns, kind of just to give you some structure and some substance as you're walking down towards these columns down here. And then I am creating an alley of trees. And they're Briody horse chestnuts, which are a red horse chestnut. So someday they'll get big and have these beautiful blooms. So come on down to this wall with me that I keep talking about, because that's been a major change here just in the last few years. I'm someone that likes to create vignettes or spaces in what are gonna feel like walkways. Now this is gonna take a while because things need to grow, but from here you have 2 vantage points. The house is perfectly on your 1 vantage point. This way I have a column in the middle of the new orchard between these 2 antique cement columns. This way I have 2 terracotta finials that I have placed to make a walkway into the vegetable garden. So there are walkways all around here, and eventually as things grow, they're gonna be defined walkways where you know where to go because your eye has sight of what way you need to go. So when you come down here, this was a fence, now it's a wall. I used limestone because it's a natural resource, kind of. It's what would have been here. Technically, it's in Iowa, it's found in Iowa. So I like the idea. Barns used to have limestone foundations, and so now I have a limestone wall here. So you can kind of create a story that it was here. So in between these columns, you can walk down. I have a boxwood hedge on either side of them that's gonna get larger, obviously. And it's with my favorite Green Mountain boxwood because they're upright and they'll get taller. Down here, I've created a slight path, and on either side, these are gonna be tall, almost column-like trees. So you're really getting that idea of columns, of structure, of height. You're kind of getting those repeating ideas as you're walking. It's gonna take time because things need to grow. When you go straight down, you get that iconic, wonderful, antique cast iron column. It's from some type of old building in St. Louis, actually. I just love it. It's a piece of architectural salvage, and I'm creating it to be like a sculpture. So this is the new orchard, and I say that because our old orchard was so old it was somewhat getting depleted. This is new trees that I planted bare root about 3 years ago. So I'm shaping them as they grow. They're starting to get apples on them. Usually in that 3 to 5 year mark, they really start producing. So all along here is the new perennial bed. And a lot of things at this time of year have bloomed, but you still get some great blooms. So some of the phlox are still blooming. The lilies are blooming. And I have, as it comes, as I have just been doing this, I kind of every year I'm like, okay, what do I need to add? A lot of the things I like to do is start with the big height in the back, and that's where the lilies are, because they're really nothing great to look at until they're flowering. So it's kind of nice because they pop up, they bloom. In front, I had all different types of perennials. The peonies are now starting to fade. These are the little old fern leaf type peonies, and they're starting to go away, but we still have some phlox that are coming. A lot of this is young perennials, but as it really starts coming to its own, it's gonna fill in even more, and it really offers color at different times of the year, and that's what I love. One thing I definitely know this year after watching it is, I need to add in some more asters because nothing's gonna be blooming here soon, so I need some more asters. Just saying, that's what I need. As for the apples, all these are heirloom varieties. So you have your Harl Reds, your Galvestons, some Yellow Delicious even, Yellow Transparent, early Yellow Transparent, the only apple I like to make applesauce out of, delicious. And then you of course have some peaches and some pears and I think plums. There's a little bit of everything down in here. And of course I need my pie cherries because what is it without sour cherries? So this is this area of the lawn. I'm gonna go up and show you along the front porch because it's blooming and I really like how it looks. So just the other little snippet of an area, I'm just showing you snippets, little treats, is along the front porch. So the original one, when my parents moved in, it would have been like 30, let's say 32 years ago. They did some landscaping here in front and it was just tired, it was old. So the only thing from that we have saved is this wonderful Juniper Topiary. You know, I used to think they were kind of dated, but we've kind of fallen in love with it. And I actually put one in at my house because, I don't know, nostalgia. So along here, I've done a lot of textures of green. So I have Japanese forest grass that's starting to fill in here in front, and it just kind of waterfalls to the front. And then behind it, I have both green velvet and green mountain boxwood. So you get those height differentials. The green mountains are kind of more pyramidal, so they're giving you that height, which is really fun. I always think she has kind of that iconic front porch. It just has that classic look that I like. It sits up higher, it has stronger columns. I like it. So the showpiece right now are these Bobo Hydrangeas. They're beautiful. They get like 3 to 4 foot tall and wide. They bloom profusely every year. And then when you mix it with this Japanese forest grass here down below, the boxwood behind, and then a couple of these urns. As you can see, Mom and I both love urns. And these I just kind of filled with my philodendron from the house. I've shown you how I use those house plants around the yard, just as focal pieces in pots, because so easy. And then we just put some annuals underneath it, but all along here was just different textures, and it's starting to really fill in. So I know you love hydrangea, so I had to show you these, obviously. So those are just a couple snippets of what I call the main farm. So now you kind of get an idea of where I go and why I go back and forth. Literally from here, if you want to know. If you see beyond there, there's a farmstead over there. That's me, you guys. So I'm back and forth all the time, doing this yard, doing my yard, talking to you from both. So that's just a quick little snippet of what I'm doing over here, kind of what's blooming, what's looking good. I'll keep showing you these. You guys have been asking for this, so that's why I'm sharing it. So keep asking, because then I know what you want to see. I love sharing them because I'm always working on them. So I got to get back to work, but